Hey guys, hope your first week's going pretty well so far. I've got some updates and additional information as promised. So first off, I just want to remind you guys to go ahead and go down to week 1 here on Moodle and make sure that you follow the directions for this Moodle discussions because this is going to be worth credit. And there are going to be posting forums like this most weeks where we'll get on and discuss things. Um, and so just make sure to do this. It's pretty simple. Just make sure you read all the way through the directions because um, we want you to get used to following written directions. It's pretty imperative for this course. So go ahead and check that out. Make sure to do that. So, in addition, some of you may see the labs down here, and some of you may not. What I've done is I've split the class into 2 groups, one for the folks taking the lab and one for folks that aren't taking the lab. Now, if you guys need to switch to taking the lab or not taking the lab, please do email me. If you've done it since yesterday, do let me know so that I can get you swapped into the right group so that you'll be able to see those labs or not. And I'll make sure to switch you over. Okay, so in addition, let's go back up here. Some of you may still be having issues accessing some of the documents on this course. Just make sure to go to what do I do if I can't access these documents? And in here, I talked about it in my last video, but just to mention it again, you won't be able to access any of these files that are on our Google Team Drive unless you are signed in to Google accounts with your Lane email address. And so if you see this, you're probably, you aren't signed in, therefore you don't have permission. So clicking request access isn't going to do you any good, just like it shows here. Instead, switch accounts so that you can sign into Google with your Lane email address, and that should give you access. If for some reason you don't have access, or you don't have, you don't have a Lane Google account, there's a link here, and just go to the bottom of this page and click on that link to follow the directions there. All right, let's go and check out the syllabus. Syllabus is always going to be at the top of the page there, and it may be something that throughout the course you end up checking over again, just because this has a lot of information about, for example, my office hours, Tuesday to Thursday, or Tuesday and Thursday, 8 to 9, or by appointment. I also have physical office, which you see here, in Building 16, room 246 on the 2nd floor. If you send me an email and you want to meet me in person for whatever reason, need some more one-on-one tutoring, just let me know, and I might be available. As for your textbook, got it right here. Tom Garrison's Oceanography. It's a pretty good book, but you'll notice that on the syllabus here it shows 6th, 7th, or 8th edition, and that's because the content is pretty much the same. You might find that some of the chapter names are switched around, like, what might be chapter 1 in 7th edition is actually chapter 2 in the 8th edition, for example. If you can't get access to any of the videos streaming on this Moodle website, they are also available through library and also the Science Resource Center. But I don't really see any reason why you'd have any issues with those video links on here. So, attendance policy, that's another reason why you would want to go ahead and post in that introduction forum for this week, because that's going to be my indication that you're actually still in this class. If you came to the orientation, you're fine. If you didn't, make sure to post in there, otherwise you will be dropped. As for the grading policy, we've got one section for the 3-credit students who aren't taking a lab, and one for those who are. Quizzes are going to be up every week, and they are going to be, they won't be available for makeups. They'll be open Sunday early morning and closing Wednesday at 11 at night. And that's the only time period that you'll be able to take those. The lowest score will be dropped for those. The exams will have 3 of those. The final is not cumulative, so each one of those is going to be on its own material. And that also, there are no makeups or late exams. And I'll explain a little bit more about the exams in a second. For those of you that are taking the labs, you'll see that this is just an additional 25%. These get bumped down to take up 75% of the course. Also notice that Moodle discussions are 10%, so it's basically your class participation. Okay. Schedule, you've already seen that. For quizzes, those are going to be open book, open note, that you'll take through Moodle whenever is most convenient for you. You'll get 2 chances with those quizzes. With the exams, it's 1 chance, and it's closed book, closed note, and those are going to be taken at a computer in one of our approved testing facilities, either here on campus, or you can choose to find your own testing center. But just make sure that you do that well ahead of course. Set that up well ahead of schedule before the exam, because it can take some time setting that all up. Okay, let's see. And that is just about it. I just wanted to also note about academic integrity. There is a 0 tolerance policy for plagiarism, and it will be the sort of thing where you and the folks at the academic student affairs office will be notified at the same time. So just don't do it. Getting help from your friends, that's okay. Just make sure that you write it in your own words so that I understand that you are actually getting the gist of the information. And that about does it. Just make sure that if you guys have any issues, especially if they're really issues that prevent you from getting critical work done, just go ahead and email me directly. But I will also keep an eye on the forums just in case. So good luck, guys, and have a great rest of your week.